All right, it's noon. It's go time. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar, How to Trade Like the Pros. I'm Jerry D'Ambrosio. How's everybody doing today? Let's hear from you just to make sure I'm coming through okay. Want to welcome everybody joining me via YouTube as well. So we are live on YouTube, live on GoToWebinar as well. Just give me a shout out. Thank you, my friend. Howdy. Awesome. Stuart, welcome. What's going on, Steven, Stan, Jerry? Welcome, everybody. Good. Fantastic. Glad you guys are here. I got to say, what I'm going to teach you here today is probably one of five go-to swing trading strategies. Over the years, I was thinking today, over the years, you become more comfortable and more familiar with and more confident in certain strategies along the way, right? So I've been with VectorVest now 18 years, almost 2 decades. So over the years, you learn different techniques, you teach different techniques, and then just certain techniques become a little bit more familiar for you. And I got to say, this is one of them, the strategy that I'm going to teach you here today. So, like I said, I've been with VectorVest now 18 years. I am just one of about a dozen or so members of the education team. And my kind of specialty is in our swing trading, more active trading faction, as I like to say, part of our education department. So glad you guys are here. Before we get started, I'd like you guys to do a few things for me first. We call them the 3 gets. First, get a pen and a piece of paper, something to drink, of course. I will ask you guys to write a few things down. It's also good if you just want to take notes in general, but we will be writing some things down later. So if somebody out there can grab a pen and a piece of paper, that might help the group. Number 2, get rid of any distractions. This is easier said than done. We all have mobile devices, cell phones that are almost basically attached to our hips, but I like to put my phone on the other side of my office. I tell my wife, make sure, between this time and this time, I won't be able to get in touch with. So just try to get rid of any distractions. And then finally, third one, it's what you guys are all here for, get ready to learn. Okay, and today, what you will learn first is 5 common principles professional traders follow. Number 2, an extremely easy and effective short-term trading strategy, and I emphasize short-term. You may not have seen it or have ever seen a trading strategy like the one you're going to see here today. And number 3, how to quickly and easily identify the best trades. And my promise to you is that if you follow the steps that we discussed today, you'll know how to identify the correct setup, entry, and exit for every trade that you place. With this one and most all of the swing trading strategies that I use, there is never a point in time where I'm wondering what to do, right? I still get asked this question a lot. I'm in this trade, I'm in stock XYZ, I'm down this percent, what do I do? The question you're asking the question, or the question is being asked because that trader didn't know what to do or didn't know how to set up the trade properly in the beginning, right before you take it. That's what I love about a lot of the techniques that we teach, is they have all that baked in. There's never any worry. Oh, what do I do when this happens? What do I do if this happens? Okay, so that's my promise to you, is that you will be able to, with this technique, identify the setup, entry, and exit for any trade that you place. Okay, I think this will help. We got a lot to cover today. Really want you guys to stick with me to the end. If you stay with me to the end, I'll share with you a copy of today's slides. Somebody remind me at the end. We'll be together for about an hour, so getting close to 1 o'clock, somebody just say, hey Jerry, don't forget the slides, and I'll put them in the handout section of your GoToMeeting control panel. Okay, you'll get them if you are joining us via YouTube as well. Okay, swing trading is not the same as day trading, and yes, we are recording this, Dennis, so you guys will get a copy of this later on this evening. Okay, all right, so let's start off by talking first about, what's the name of the webinar, how to trade like the pros, right? All right, so what makes a pro a pro? What are the qualities that separates these men and women from the average retail investor? And this segment here is all about getting you in the correct mindset, because this is not your buy and hold retirement approach. These are not investment strategies. These are trading strategies. Okay? This is for the capital that you have set aside to trade a little bit more actively. And we hope you're doing that. So here at VectorVest, we have different coaching groups. And we have an options group, we have a retirement group, we have a swing trading group, and we have another group for, a longer, maybe 25% of your overall investment capital. Okay, this is not 100%. Every dollar you have, you're putting towards this type of an approach. Let's kind of be upfront about that. The first thing that separates a pro from a just kind of an average retail investor is that pros are realistic. They know that there's no magic pill that they can take that will make them better traders overnight. Success in this industry, and really any industry, comes with time and effort. So if you're talking about professionals, you might talk about a professional athlete, and if you follow sports or have ever played sports, you know that professional athletes are the absolute best, and they didn't just get there with minimal effort. They've always put in the work and put in the time, and I think that goes with any field. You're going to get to the top of your respective fields by putting in effort. Trading stocks, investing in stocks, it's no different. Okay, it's going to take hard work. It's not going to happen overnight. Don't expect it to. Next is that they control their emotions. Pros don't allow losing trades to affect them. This is easier said than done, right? I'm almost this guy sometimes. But pros don't think of the money first. They focus on doing the right things, making the right trades. They know if they do that, the money will come. Okay? Staying disciplined is a big part of that. One of the reasons they feel this way is because they place trades based on facts and data rather than gut feelings. We've all been there. I've placed trades, earlier on in my career because I just knew it was going to go up, right? You had this gut feeling. Pros don't have feelings when it comes to stock trading. They don't think that way. They look solely at the information in front of them to make decisions, and that's it. They're prepared. Going back earlier to what I said about the question being asked, what do I do when this happens, or what do I do now? Again, the question is asked because that individual is not prepared. Pros are prepared. They know exactly when they're going to get out of a trade even before getting in. And it's because they've examined and tested different techniques to figure out which one is best. Lastly, most importantly, I think professional traders are disciplined. They stay sharp and focused when things are going well, but they're resilient when things aren't going so well. So they have a plan and they stick to that plan. Now, what happens if you continue to struggle with some of these things? So if you're struggling with setting stops or controlling emotions, if you continue to struggle with some of these things, you're going to go broke. Now, I don't mean you'll be unemployed living on the streets, but you won't be playing this game too much longer. Okay? Losses will just keep building up and building up. You'll wind up broke with no more money to invest. If done the right way, you'll know exactly what you're doing no matter the situation. So there won't be a time where you're asking, what do I do? That's already been laid out for you. So just think about the confidence that you'll have moving forward. And once you start to develop better habits, you'll start to see more consistent gains. Now, there is a big mistake, though, that new traders make when first starting to implement short-term trading strategies. And that's what we're talking about, right? Swing trading, shorter-term trading strategies. Well, they follow unproven, complicated techniques. They think that if they use 5 different indicators and 3 or 4 different types of moving averages to help identify entries and exits, that would add value somehow or become more effective. For some reason, new traders who are just starting out trading this way, they find value in complexity. Okay? Most times that leads to confusion and ultimately frustration. You might be getting mixed signals, conflicting signals, and you're not having success the way you'd hope to. What I want to show you today is a short-term trading strategy called the RSI-2 trading system. You may have heard of it. It was developed by Larry Connors. Larry Connors is an author. He's a trader. He has over 30 years, more now, almost 40 years in the financial markets industry. This strategy focuses on stocks in long-term uptrends, but are experiencing short-term corrections. I know that's rather vague, but if you just think of those two situations, Larry Connors lays out the criteria for each, meaning, all right, what do we mean by long-term uptrend, and what exactly does a short-term correction look like? He lays all that out for us. And what I love about this system is that it's so simple. It only uses 3 indicators. A 200-day moving average to identify the long-term trend. So I said he kind of lays out what we're really looking for. And, okay, so the 200-day moving average is for the long-term trend, and the 5-day moving average, both simple moving averages, excuse me, and a 2-period RSI, stands for Relative Strength Index. We slap those 2 indicators on to identify the short-term trend. So let me show you how this strategy works. Okay, here we're looking at a graph of Procter & Gamble. Now you'll notice the date range at the bottom. It's from November of 2018 to November of 2019. Don't worry about the time frame. I'll explain why we're looking back this far in a little bit. I will show a more current example as well. It doesn't matter. I could be looking at a stock from 1970. It doesn't matter. It's the technique that I'm teaching you, and it applies to any stock, any time frame. But we are looking at a daily price chart here, so keep that in mind. It's not a weekly chart. It's not an intraday chart. It's daily. These are daily price bars. Okay. So we're looking at Procter & Gamble, November of 18 to November of 19. It's been a great stock, right? Great overall price movement going from bottom left to upper right. But there have been times, and during this whole time period here, the stock stays above its 200-day moving average, right? So it's above its 200-day moving average, but there are times, or have been times, where the stock pulls back, right? No stock goes straight up. You're going to get these pullbacks. You've heard the term before, buying the dip. This is essentially what we're doing. Because we're looking for these pullbacks. We're looking for times when the price of the stock stays above the 200-day moving average, but falls below the 5-day moving average. So long-term uptrend, short-term correction. The short-term correction is defined by and categorized by the price of the stock being below the 5-day moving average. All right, that's just 2 indicators though, right? The technique has 3 indicators. Third indicator is the RSI, scaled at the bottom. It's scaled between 0 and 100. The industry standard look-back period is 14, with the extreme lower level at 30 and the extreme upper level at 70. Okay? You can plot this on any chart over time, showing the RSI movement. Now, using the industry standard settings, you can see that during this time period here, and I actually went back to June of 18 to November of 19, the 14-day RSI only dipped below 30 once. So the 14-period RSI, again, it's industry standard. 14-period RSI going below 30, that's a buy signal. 14-period RSI going above 70, that's a sell signal. Okay? We only had one signal here over this 1.5-year time period. So Larry Connors looked at that and said, well, that's not going to do. I can't use the 14-period RSI. So what he did was he sped up the indicator. And he changed the look-back period to a 2-period look-back. Now, when you do that, when you change values or the look-back period of certain indicators that have extreme levels, you have to also change the extreme level. So he shortened the look-back period to a 2-period RSI and lowered the extreme level from 30 to 10. And you can see it produces a lot more signals. Now, you might be asking, why a 2-period RSI and why 10? The only explanation I can have, and this is, I wouldn't say it's a guess, I'd say it's more of a educated explanation, is because he tried multiple combinations of other levels, right? You don't just say, hey, I'm going to use a 2-period RSI and 10 and leave it at that. You come up with something, or you create different iterations of it. He might have tried a 4-period RSI, might have tried an 8-period RSI or 9-period RSI, right? So you're trying these different combinations, and finally you say, hey, this one worked the best, this one produced the best results in my research, and that's the one I'm going to use. So that would be an explanation as to why the combination of a 200-day moving average, the 5-day moving average, and the 2-period RSI is what we're looking at. So that is the system. Okay, price above the 200-day moving average, but below the 5-day moving average, and not or, and the 2-period RSI below 10. There is your buy signal. Okay, let's look at what this looks like on paper. So the entry rules are: we buy only when the stock is above the 200-day moving average. What was kind of a main concept that we looked at earlier? This strategy focuses on stocks in long-term uptrends but are experiencing short-term corrections. So we buy only when the stock is above the 200-day simple moving average, telling us that the stock is in a long-term uptrend, but pulling back, falling below the 5-day moving average with the 2-period RSI below 10, telling us that the short-term correction is in place. We enter the trade near the close of the day. Okay, I know a lot of techniques that we teach and that you use. You might identify a setup as of the close of a day, and then you enter the trade the next day, right? We do that with most of the trades I think that we place. This one is a little different. You're going to enter near the close of the day. So it's about 3:45 p.m. Eastern time, right? 15 minutes before the market closes, and you identify that all of those situations, all those criteria up at the top there are true. And you're saying, hey, this looks like an RSI2 candidate. It meets all the rules. I'm going to buy it right before the close. Give it, 3:55 or so. You put a market order in and you get in. Okay? You take the trade as close to the close as possible. You exit the trade when the price of the stock goes above the 5-day moving average. So we know that we're entering the trade when it's below it, right? And we're entering near the close of that day. We exit when price goes above the 5-day moving average, and we exit near the close of that day. So you are entering and exiting positions near as close to the close of a given day as possible. So that's what it looks like written down. Let's look at some charts now. All right, so we're looking at Procter & Gamble. Again, don't worry about the time frame. I'll explain why I went back that far in a little bit. But we have the price of the stock. We have the 2-period RSI in green. The red horizontal line at the bottom is at 10. And the white line is the 5-day simple moving average. What are we missing here? What are we missing? We're missing the 200-day moving average. But we know from looking at the long-term chart of Procter & Gamble that the price of the stock over that time period and this time period, the price of the stock was above the 200-day moving average, right? We know that from the other chart. You can't see it here because we're just zoomed in a little too closely, right? So just know that with all of the examples that I'm about to show you, all of the setups that we're going to go through, it meets that criteria of price being above the 200-day. Okay? So on July 23rd of 2019, the price of the stock is above the 200-day moving average, so this stock is in a long-term uptrend, but it's experiencing a short-term correction where price falls below the 5-day moving average and the 2-period RSI goes below 10. By the way, we know that the price is below the 5-day moving average because this is a filled body, a solid candle where the close is at the bottom and the open is at the top. An unfilled candle is where the close is at the top and the open is at the bottom of the body. Okay? On this day, July 23rd, 2019, if we were to follow the rules, we would buy really close to 113.85. That was the close of the day. Now, I don't know what the price was at 3:55 p.m. Eastern Time on July 23rd of 2019. So for the purposes of this, we're going to use the closing prices here for our buy and sell prices. Okay? So we buy at 113.85. And again, we're not much slippage here because we're getting in as close to the close as possible. When do we sell? All right, well, we sell 1, 2, 3 days later because on that day, July 26th, the price of the stock is about to, or it did close, above the 5-day moving average. Remember, with an unfilled candle, the open is at the top, at the bottom, the close is at the top. So if we were to sell this at 114.73, what would that mean? That would mean that that's a winning trade. I know it's only about a buck, about 90 cents. Don't get too concerned with how much money we're making. I want you to focus on how often are we making money. That's the theme here. Okay, and I'll show some true monetary performance in a little bit, but let's just focus on winning and losing trades, because the most attractive thing I think about this technique is the high, ridiculously high number of winning trades that you are going to see. So that's a win. So I asked you guys to take out a pen and a piece of paper earlier. Somebody do that for me. All right, I'll do it myself, of course. But that's a winning trade. So we're gonna put a win tally mark in the win column. Okay. I'm gonna go to the next one. The very next day, don't you have another setup, right? Let's say you didn't take the trade the day before for whatever reason. I don't know. You didn't have any money in your account, no buying power left, or you're on vacation. You weren't watching the market on July 23rd. Okay. So you wake up the next day and you say, all right, July 24th, and it looks like this stock is showing me another setup, isn't it? Price is still above the 200-day moving average, but it's still below the 5-day moving average, and the 2-period RSI is actually digging deeper below 10. So on that day, if you didn't buy it the day before, you buy it near the close of that day at 113.15, and you sell a few days later at 114.73. It's the same exit no matter which day you bought it. And that's another winning trade. Again, don't worry so much about how much, but did we make money or not? And we did. All right. So far, we're 2 for 2. All right. The very next setup was on August 5th of 2019. So we know that the price is still above the 200-day moving average, but it is pulling back a little bit, experiencing a short-term correction. Price of the stock is below the 5-day moving average, and the 2-period RSI is below 10. Why didn't we have a setup the day before on August 2nd? Or why didn't we have a setup the day before on August 1st? Wasn't the price of the stock on both of those days below the 5-day moving average? It was, but the 2-period RSI was not below 10. Again, and, not or. Price below the 5-day moving average and the 2-period RSI below 10, confirming you're in a really short-term oversold situation. So if we buy it on that day at near 113.08, we sell it 2 days later at 115.52. Nice little quick gain. Hey, do you remember earlier today when I said that this was a short-term trading strategy? And I emphasize short-term. This is what we're talking about. The average holding period for this strategy is anywhere between 2 and 5 days. It's not a day trading strategy. You'll never day trade these stocks, right? Because we're buying them near the close of the day. How you get a day trade that way? Okay. The earliest you could sell it is the next day, at the next day's close. But the average is anywhere between 2 and 5 days, if you were wondering. But that's another winning trade. All right, let's move to the next one. The very next one, I'm not skipping over dates here, by the way. This one was August 5th of 2019. The very next one was September 10th of 2019, so a little over a month later. And I'm not skipping over any dates. I'm showing chronologically going from left to right. So on September 10th, and I probably sound like a broken record, but it's important. Repetition is important with this because it's very mechanical, right? Price is above the 200-day moving average, but it has fallen below the 5-day moving average and the 2-period RSI below 10. That's a setup. If we buy near the close of that day at 119.88, we sell a few days later, just 2, at 122.77, give or take. Right? Again, you're buying near the close. That's another winning trade, right? So put another tally mark in the win column. The very next one was another month later almost, on October 2nd of 2019. The price of the stock is still above the 200-day, but it's experiencing a short-term pullback, a little short-term correction where price has fallen below and is about to close below the 5-day moving average and the 2-period RSI below 10. So if you were to buy it there near the close at 121.08, you sell it 2 days later, roughly 124 bucks. That's another winning trade. Okay. Now, what's that? That's 5-0 so far. Not bad, right? 5 wins, no losses in 5 consecutive trades. Doesn't happen very often in period, but so far so good. So October 14th of 2019, we got another setup. Here though, if you buy at 120.05, right, because that was the close of the day, the 2-period RSI was below 10, you sell here at 119.08, right? You still follow the rules. Now this one you were in the trade a little bit longer, maybe about 4 or 5 days, 5 days, 6 days almost. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the price of the stock on that day closed at 119.08. So if you would have sold it there, which you were supposed to, you lost, right? So I'm going to put a tally mark in the loss column. Leads me to Gabriel's question: is what do you use for stops? You don't use stop losses in the traditional sense. Larry Connors developed this system without using stop losses because he felt that stop losses, cutting your losses before the price of the stock closes above the 5-day moving average, hurt performance over time. Think of this as an exit criteria. It's not a stop loss, right? No stop loss. You close the position when the price of the stock closes above the 5-day moving average. Okay? Sometimes that results in winning trades. Sometimes that results in losing trades. Okay, good. You're with me there, Gabriel? Good. Okay, so it's an exit criteria. Now, if you would have bought it on that day, on October 14th, you would have lost. But the very next day, you had a winning setup. If you didn't buy it the day before, you had another opportunity there on October 15th. So we're going through setups. Every single setup, regardless of if there were consecutive setups, because you might not have taken one or the first one or the last one. You might have gotten the one in the middle. Or so we're just trying to show efficacy here, and we're going to show all the setups. Well, that's a winning setup, obviously. You buy it there at 117.20, you sell it there at 119.08, and then 2 days later, you had another setup where you won. So I showed you guys nine setups. Okay, 9 setups, 9 consecutive setups. Okay, James asking, good strategy to buy both days. I would say that's a little bit more aggressive, meaning adding to your position as price is falling. That's a little bit more aggressive and not for the novice. Let's get familiar with how to, or let's just get some practice on how to trade it the way I demonstrated it. And then as you get more comfortable, maybe you can add to your position if the setup shows itself the next day. That's a little bit more advanced, I would say. Now, I showed you guys what I say, 9 setups in a row, 8 winners, 1 loser. Not bad, right? Not a bad winning percentage there over a small sample size. I get that, but I said earlier I'd explain why I went all the way back to November of 2018, and this is why, because I wanted to show you, of course, enough of a sample size for you to understand the system. And then I want to show you some longer term results. Since November 2018, all the way to current now on the same stock, Procter & Gamble, right? So 119 total setups. I showed you guys 9 of them. But there were more, obviously, from going all the way back to 2018. One stock, Procter & Gamble, 119 setups, 91 winning setups, 28 losing setups. That's a 76% winning trade percentage. So if you would have traded all of the RSI 2 setups on Procter & Gamble since November of 18 to current, you would have made money 76% of the time. That's 3 out of every 4 trades. I think that's a really good winning percentage. I've seen higher, and I'm about to show you kind of a portfolio that is actually higher. What do you guys think of that? 3 out of every 4 winners. This is a very mechanical system. We're looking at a very large sample size here. Now, that includes the current timing as well. It includes all the setups that you see here over the last 1 year. Okay. Now, here's more of an empirical test, if you will. So that's just one stock. All right, I get it. Procter & Gamble. It's a large sample size on that one stock, but it is still just one stock. Pretty good. 76% winning percentage across the last 6 years. One stock. So what I did is say, I'm not sure if that's going to be enough for these guys. So what I did was that I went into the S&P 500 watch list in the VectorVest program just yesterday. And I looked at the top 5 CI stocks in the S&P 500. No oil, I just excluded oil. Okay? Looked at the top 5 CI stocks in the S&P 500 over the last 1 year. All I did again was went into the S&P 500 no petro watch list, sorted by CI, and the top stocks were the ones that you see there. Kroger, Nvidia, HWM, is that Royal Caribbean, and FICO. Over the last 1 year, from November 11th of 2023 to November 11th of 2024, there were 71 RSI2 setups across all 5 stocks, not 71 each. 71 across all 5. 64 winners, 7 losers. That's a 90% winning trade percentage. So all I did here was I used VectorVest rank analysis, sorting by one of my favorite indicators, period, within the VectorVest program, and that's CI. CI, by the way, if you don't know, it measures a stock's ability to kind of withstand long or lengthy downturns. High CI stocks are resilient. They show price growth persistence over time. You ever hear of the Ulcer Index? The Ulcer Index rises the more and the longer a stock price falls. CI is different. It rises the more and the longer a stock price rises. Okay, so high CI stocks, if you look at a high CI stock, look at any of these charts, by the way. Bottom left to upper right, there's not a ton of volatility, but at times price does pull back a little bit, and the RSI2 system finds those pullbacks. 90% winning trades. Okay, 90% winning trades. What you're looking at here is a long-term portfolio going back to February 8th of 2010. This is a trading system now that centers around the same RSI2 technique that I just taught you. The only difference in this portfolio is the exit criteria. Unfortunately, there is no way in VectorVest to automate closing a position when price closes above the 5-day moving average. That is how Larry Connors has laid out the system. That is one way to trade it if you were to trade it manually. Okay, I developed this this automated system, keeping the integrity of the RSI2 strategy that I just taught you, but just modifying the exit criteria a little bit. This portfolio over the last, how many years is this now? Wow, 14 years, buys stocks that meet the RSI2 criteria that I just taught you. Meaning when the price of the stock, when it's a high CI stock and the price is above the 200-day moving average, but below the 5-day moving average with the 2-period RSI below 10, it buys that stock. It maintains 5 positions. Look at the performance here over the last 14 years. 1,353%. This was the COVID crash in 2020. This does not use any market timing because it just happens to work better without using any market timing. But look at the growth on this portfolio here. You know, really since COVID, but guys, look, 1,353%. That's not even the best part of this trading system. Over the last 14 years, we've had 294 winning trades and only 22 losing trades. That's a 93% winning trade percentage. 93% over more than 300 trades since February of 2010 all the way to current. That is my favorite part of this technique, is the high number of winning trades. And it's not like you're going to get a high number of winning trades and you're not going to make any money. You're making money and you don't have a ton of losing trades. Okay? You're probably thinking, this is fantastic. How can you not be thinking that, right? But you're probably also thinking, this seems a little complicated in that I gotta be in my computer, I gotta be in front of my computer every day at the end of the day to look over charts, to try to find setups. That's not true. What I'm about to tell you eliminates all that time. No matter what we teach you here at VectorVest, we want you to be able to do it faster, smarter, and better. So you might be saying, this is kind of the time. Listen, we've had one of the best weeks in a very long time last week, right? The market is really starting to get going. Even before the election, a lot of economists and analysts were saying that a Trump presidency is likely to be more beneficial for the stock market than a Harris presidency. I think we can maybe agree on that. So the next 4 years are going to be tremendous growth opportunities here. So now is the time to really kind of kick things into gear, take your trading to the next level. So how do we do that? You can do it on your own, of course, but I like to give you all the answers. Just give you all the answers to all the questions that you have. So this is a very special offer for you guys here today for joining me on this webinar. We will be launching our Trade Like a Pro live course in a couple of weeks, and we want to, of course, invite you to that. But special bonus is we want to give you our all access pass, which means you get all of our courses included for an entire year. Okay, so the special bonus is you save $1,000. We'll get into the pricing of it in a moment, but we are launching our live Trade Like a Pro course, which all of you folks that do register will become students of that course come in just 2 weeks. But with that, you get our all access pass as well. This gives you access to all of our courses. If you're interested in more swing trading courses, we have a course on candlestick analysis. We have what's called precision swing trading, which is continuation and breakout chart patterns. We have one called Mastering Moving Averages, which has a few. I said earlier I had like a handful of swing trading strategies that are my go-tos. This is one of them, RSI2, but there's a couple of them that we teach in our Mastering Moving Averages course. EMA Squeeze, Surfing the Reversal Waves, those are two really good ones. You get access to all of that, guys. So for 1 year, you get access to all of our courses with the All Access Pass. I'll get into the cost of it in a moment, but let's get through more of the agenda for our upcoming Trade Like a Pro course. There are 6 modules. All the modules are pre-recorded. The mastery sessions that we do as a class will be in a couple of weeks, and those will be live. But let's go through the modules here first. The first module, we get you in the correct mindset. We talk a little bit more about how the pros think. Managing risk and order entry are huge segments in this course. Okay. Then we get into, after we kind of lay the foundation, get you in the right mindset and knowing that, hey, this is for a portion of my investment capital, maybe 25% of it, and this is for very short-term active swing trading. It's not a retirement course, guys. By the way, we have retirement courses in our university that you will have access to for the whole year, after you register. Okay. Module number 2, candlestick signals. I love candlestick signals. So we talk about a few different bullish and bearish candlestick reversal patterns that we couple with a technical analysis indicator to identify entries and exits. Okay. Module number 3, we teach you here the different types of markets that you may encounter. Trending markets, right? Markets that are hitting higher highs and higher lows consistently. Those are comfortable, right? Those are nice markets to be participating in. Traders markets, that's when the market isn't moving higher consistently. It's kind of channeling and range bound. And then when the market hits an extremely oversold situation. Those are the 3 different types of market situations that you might encounter. We get into recognizing those and then identifying technical indicators that are most ideally suited for those types of markets. Then we get into some professional traders techniques. Okay. This is called the Holy Grail. Steve Chappell is going to come in and teach you guys about the Holy Grail. A woman by the name of Linda Ratchke, she created the Holy Grail system. She, of course, is not teaching the course, but we love this technique. And it's for both bullish and bearish markets. Very short term system. Great little technique. Module 5, I'm going to teach you 2 techniques that were taught by Charles Schaap, one called the 50-50 and the other called 80 Excellence. Love both of those. And then finally, the highlight of this course is more on the RSI2 trading system that I taught you today, and another one called the RSI25 that Larry Connors also developed, but exclusively for ETFs. You might be looking for an ETF strategy. We have one in VectorVest. It's the NASDAQ, but one of the things that's frustrating me about the NASDAQ ETF trading systems, it's been in cash for a while. It's a very restrictive system. Don't get me wrong. I love the long-term performance, but boy, this year the REITSMAs, Nets, Turbo, and Nitro hadn't been trading all that often. It's been in cash for most of the year, which is unfortunate. But the RSI2 different. It's more active. You'll find ETFs that are setting up really nicely. So those are the 6 pre-recorded modules included in the course. I said earlier that we're going to do some mastery sessions, live mastery sessions, and we will. These sessions are great. They're designed to help you implement the things that you learned in the module. We'll take a look at the things you're doing. The questions you have will guide you through the entire process. You will be given a homework assignment after each module, and we'll go over the homework assignment during these mastery sessions. Okay? And the best way I can kind of put what these mastery sessions are all about, let's say module number 4, you learn about the Holy Grail, right? We teach you about the Holy Grail. Well, in all of the examples and the slides and the resources that you guys have, and of course the module itself, we're going through historical examples. You're going to see some examples from years ago. It doesn't matter when the examples are shown. Now, if we were just to leave you with all that and say, hey, good luck on your own, that's a different story. But that's what these live mastery sessions are for. I'm going to get in there. We're going to get into the program together, and we're going to look for Holy Grail setups today or on the day of the session. Real-time examples of the setups that we showed you during the modules. Okay, so it's going to be all real-time stock selection in these mastery sessions. You're also going to get this. This is a special bonus. It's, well, you know what? You're actually going to get it included in the all access pass anyway. So we usually would just give this as part of the Trade Like a Pro course. This is valued at $995, guys, by the way. So you're going to get access to the Master the Art of Candlestick Analysis as well, along with all of the other courses that we have in the university. Question is the all access pass same as the URS? No, URS is the coaching group, I think, that you're referring to, but the All Access Pass gives you access to all of our courses, all of our educational courses that are in the university. Now, if you currently don't have VectorVest 7, and I think there are some folks in here that don't, I want to make sure you have access during the course. So you're going to get 70 days access to the VectorVest Premium product. That is our real-time program, includes all the bells and whistles and everything that you'll need to participate in the course. Pro Trader searches and the auto timer as well. And we go through those products, those tools during the course. Also, you're going to get a bonus session after the course officially ends. The bonus session will be a live trading session where we'll implement with real money what we've learned over the course of the 6 weeks. I'm going to show you guys how to use RoboTrader to manage your trades. And again, we'll be trading you with real money. I'm going to step you through everything from market analysis to trade setup and trade execution. And this is huge too. I think some of you guys were asking about scans. This is huge. Exclusively for Trade Like a Pro attendees and students, you will receive pre-built searches that will make finding your trades very, very easy. You were probably thinking, great, they teach us all of these techniques. They're going to teach us about the RSI2 and about the Holy Grail and the 50-50, but how on earth will we find stocks to actually trade? The legwork has been done already. I built these scans to quickly and easily find the best candidates to trade, and the great thing about this is we're going to insert them into your programs. You don't have to build them. If you're not comfortable with building searches, we get it. We're going to just put them right into your product. Okay? And then finally, this is, I think, the biggest bonus here. You will get this automated trading system that centers around the RSI2 system that I taught you guys today. The exit criteria, that you'll get that. You'll get all of the other little nuanced criteria that is involved in an automated trading system, whether you're replacing or not replacing, how many stocks, the search, the exit criteria, industry sector diversification, how often do I deploy funds, all of those little settings in an automated system. You're going to get that as part of the Trade Like a Pro course, and again, the All Access Pass, what you'll get as well. 14 years here. We're going on 15. No, yep, we're going on 15. 1,353%. I mean, the thing just keeps moving along higher and higher and higher and higher. And just now we're at the all-time high. 1,353, 93% winning trades, which again is the best part. So, all access pass, of course, comes included with our Trade Like a Pro. Special bonus, save $1,000 on that. Also, the Trade Like a Pro course, 100% money back guaranteed. If you do all the work, show that you've come to the classes or at least watch the recording, we'll gladly give you a refund. So what I want you to do is go to that website at the bottom, www.vectorvest.com/TLP. It is $1,995 for the All Access Pass, which again includes a Trade Like a Pro Mastery class that we're going to be doing here in a couple of weeks. Okay, here are the dates for the live mastery sessions. Today is what? Today is the 12th. So in about 3 weeks or so, we have our first live mastery support session, December 4th. The dates, we always try to keep the sessions on the same day, but unfortunately you had Christmas and New Year's there during this class, so we had to adjust some of the dates. But when you register, you will get an email with all of these dates and instructions on how to access the course. All the sessions do start at 1 p.m. So I'm going to ask John if he hasn't done that already. Thank you, John. www.vectorvest.com/TLP. You guys should see that in the chat box. You click on it, that'll bring you right to the order page where it will list the Trade Like a Pro course and the All Access Pass. By the way, $1,995, you get the Trade Like a Pro Mastery class coming up here in a couple weeks, and all of our other self-study courses in the university for 1 year, for 1 full year. Okay, we will be doing also a live trading session. I mentioned that earlier. That session will begin on January 14th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We start an hour before the market opens. There is some work that a trader needs to do before the market opens, right? There's identifying directional bias. What am I going to do today? Am I going to buy stocks today? I'm going to short stocks today. You got to develop a bias first. That has to do with not only the trend of the market, but what's going on that day. And then stock selection. What trades am I going to queue up here? What are some potential candidates? This stuff needs to be done before the market opens, and that's why during our live trading session here, we're going to meet at 8:30 a.m. Okay. Steven's asking which modules cover the searches. You mean which searches? You get searches for Holy Grail, 50/50, 80 Excellence, RSI2, RSI25, and then for the candlesticks, there's already candlestick searches in there. So really, with every technique that we teach in this course, there's a search for it. Okay. Tom is asking a good question. Tom says, Jerry, is there an elite rate? Tom, the elite rate for the Trade Like a Pro course is normally $1,497.50. If you wanted just to buy the Trade Like a Pro this upcoming class, you would pay $1,497.50. For $1,995, you can get access to all of our courses, including this one, for an entire year. So it would make sense to do that. But if you just wanted the Trade Like a Pro course, $1,497.50 is your elite rate. Okay, awesome. Jerry says all signed up. Awesome, Jerry. Looking forward to it. Fantastic. Looking forward to it. See you in a couple weeks. All right, guys. I'm going to stick around for a few more minutes to answer any questions that you have. Go to that site. By the way, the price of $1,995 includes the Trade Like a Pro Mastery class that we're doing in a couple weeks, and all of our other self-study courses in the university. This price of $1,995 is only good for another couple of days. Okay, limited time offer, particularly for you folks that are joining me here today. Okay, right, Tom. I left that part out. All right. Good. Stan says, we'll be signing up. Thanks. Awesome, Stan. Oh, okay. That's unfortunate. Okay. All right. Good. Okay, good question. What is the function of the auto timer? So I showed you guys that long-term portfolio, right? Using the RSI2, right? 93% winning trades, up 1,350%. The auto timer automates all of that for you, not only in a back test, but moving forward in a portfolio. So that's what the auto timer does. It automates buys and sells without having to do it manually in a back test and in a portfolio. Yes, I did forget. Thank you, Noel. In the handout section, guys, of your GoToMeeting control panel, I'm about to put in a PDF of the slides that I used here today. You should see that in a second. I'll tell you when. There it is. Okay, you should see it says TLP. It's a PDF. Click on that, open it up, download it to your computer. Gary's asking, does this work with options? It does. Why wouldn't it, right? It's a directional stock trade, so a directional option trade would be the alternative. You can get more leverage that way. Now, there are some more variables in an option trade, right? So that has to be accounted for. We're just buying and selling the underlying here, but with an option trade, there are more variables. But yes, it absolutely can work with options, right? Instead of buying the stock, you buy the call. Daniel's asking, do you need real time to use this system after the course? Well, let me say this. For the RSI2, because you have to buy and sell near the close of a day, you do need real-time data for the RSI2 and for the RSI25. The other systems, guys, the Holy Grail, the 50-50, the 80 Excellence, any of the candlestick strategies that we teach, you recognize those setups at the end of a day, and then you wait for follow-through the next day before you take the trade. Now, I think traders need real-time data. I mean, that's just my opinion. So if you're going to implement these trading systems, I think real-time data is important. Remember, we're only in these trades a few days, maybe a week or so. So precision entries are important. So that's kind of my opinion there. The PDF, Matthew, is in the handout section of your GoToMeeting control panel. You got some sections there in that panel. One of them says handouts. Phyllis says, does Trade Like a Pro only include Trade Like a Pro, and for how long? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Phyllis. Trade Like a Pro, the course that we're doing here, which you have the 6 modules that you see. We're doing the mastery session starting December 4th. You get that course for a year. Also, all of the other courses that you get included in the All Access Pass, you get those courses for a year as well. Okay, so all of the courses in the university, every single one of them, you get access to for an entire year. That includes Trade Like a Pro. Once you register for this and you go to VectorVest.com/TLP, you register, you will get an email with instructions on how to access the university, on how to access this course. Question, does a combo of RT and CI yield a better performance? No, it does not. I tested different sorts as well. So that automated portfolio that you guys saw there on the RSI2, I tested a lot of different combinations of sorts and holdings and whether to use market timing or not. CI really worked the best. So because if you think about it, we're looking for pullbacks. I don't know how much RT would play a factor in that short-term pullback if we're looking for a good combination of it, right? So just kind of top of my head what I can think about there. Any questions, guys, on pricing of any products? Give our support department a call. I'm not quite sure how much you can't just buy the RoboTrader. The RoboTrader would be an add-on to the VectorVest 7 program. So that's the base product, the VectorVest 7 Premium, and then RoboTrader would be an add-on to that. But any questions on pricing on anything like that, particularly because I can't see your guys' accounts, how much time you have left in your current cycle, give our support department a ring for that. All right. Yep. So hopefully, Phyllis, I answered that there. VectorVest.com/TLP. That is how you get access to the Trade Like a Pro course that we're going to be doing there again live in a couple weeks, along with all of the other courses in the university. I've been here 18 years. We've never had this offer before, and that just came to me. We've never done this type of an offer before. We've done Trade Like a Pro classes, man, dozens and dozens of them over the last 5-6 years. We've never offered the All Access Pass, guys. This is a fantastic offer. Very rarely, if ever, done, and unlikely that we'll do it again. But take advantage of this. The course, by the way, the Trade Like a Pro course itself, The course itself is $2,995. Now we discount it for webinars. We usually discount it for $2,295, just to kind of say thank you to those that are joining the webinar. So this is $1,995 for the whole university, which is fantastic. All right. Anthony says, signed up. Thanks, Jerry. See you there. Awesome. Question is, what would you consider a high CI? Well, the great thing about it is you don't have to worry so much about what you would consider a high CI. When you're looking at that S&P 500 watch list, you just sort by CI. It brings the highest CI to the top, and it's hard to say what number that would be at any given point in time. If I had to put a number on it, I'd say anywhere above 1.4 is considered excellent. You know, it's scaled between 0 and 2. But you don't have to worry about that. You're just taking stocks from the top. You know, if you sort by CI, you're going to get 1/8 at the top, maybe even higher, and then on your way down. All right. My email address, guys, jerryd@vectorvest.com. Write that down quick. jerryd, Jerry, D as in David, @vectorvest.com. jerryd@vectorvest.com. Any questions at all about the course, about the all access pass that you guys are registering for, shoot me an email, and then we'll go from there. Remember, we start December 4th. That is our first mastery session. Those dates of those mastery sessions will be included in an email that you get once you register. Okay? All right, guys. Well, hope you guys enjoyed today. I love this technique. Again, I use it myself in our swing trading coaching group portfolio. That portfolio is up 47% this year. And a lot of the trades that I make in that portfolio use the RSI2 system. Okay? So hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see everybody in a couple of weeks for our first live mastery class. Have a great day, everybody.